Greenland, the world's largest island, is a land of stark beauty. Towering icebergs and vast glaciers dominate the landscape. Beneath its frozen surface lie valuable resources. These include rare earth minerals, oil, and natural gas. This makes Greenland strategically important. The United States, a global superpower, has long recognized Greenland's significance. Let's imagine a scenario. The US decides to invade Greenland, claiming a need for its resources. This action would have profound consequences. It would trigger a geopolitical earthquake. The invasion would be a blatant violation of international law. Denmark, which holds sovereignty over Greenland, would be outraged. The international community would condemn this act of aggression. The scenario raises critical questions. How would the world react? What would be the environmental and human costs? An invasion of Greenland by the US would send shockwaves across the globe. Denmark, a NATO ally, would be deeply betrayed. The invasion would likely lead to the expulsion of the US from NATO. This would severely damage the alliance's credibility. Other nations would be quick to condemn the US. The United Nations would likely pass resolutions demanding withdrawal. Sanctions could be imposed on the US. These would have severe economic consequences. The invasion would shatter the image of the US as a defender of democracy. It would be seen as a rogue state. This would damage its relationships with allies. It would also embolden its adversaries. The diplomatic fallout would be immense. The US would face isolation on the world stage. Trust would be broken. Repairing the damage would take generations. This act of aggression would have lasting consequences. Greenland plays a crucial role in regulating the global climate. Its ice sheet reflects sunlight back into space. This helps cool the planet. An invasion would threaten this delicate balance. Military activity would release greenhouse gases. These contribute to global warming. The melting of the ice sheet would accelerate. This would lead to rising sea levels. Coastal communities worldwide would be at risk. The delicate ecosystems of Greenland would be devastated. Pollution from military operations would contaminate the land and water. This would harm wildlife. Endangered species could be pushed to extinction. The environmental consequences of an invasion would be catastrophic. They would extend far beyond Greenland's borders. The impact on the planet's climate would be irreversible. Future generations would inherit a severely damaged world. Section 4. Strategic gains, moral losses, resources and military advantage at what cost? Proponents of an invasion might argue for strategic benefits. Greenland's mineral resources are, well, quite tempting. Its location is strategically significant. However, these gains come at a steep price. Access to rare earth minerals would boost US industries. These are vital for electronics and renewable energy. A military presence in Greenland would enhance US Arctic capabilities. This would give them an edge in the region. However, these gains are overshadowed by the ethical and strategic costs. The invasion would be a breach of international law. It would damage US credibility. It could even trigger a new Cold War. The economic costs of occupation would be immense. Maintaining a military presence in such a harsh environment is expensive. The potential for conflict with other nations over Arctic resources would remain high. It's a dangerous gamble. Section 5. The Inuit perspective, a people displaced on their own land. The Inuit people have inhabited Greenland for centuries. Their culture and way of life are deeply connected to the land. An invasion would be devastating for them. Traditional hunting and fishing grounds would be disrupted. Sacred sites could be damaged. The influx of military personnel would threaten their way of life. Their voices must be heard. Forced displacement and cultural assimilation would be a real risk. The Inuit would become a minority in their own land. Their rights would be violated, their voices silenced. Justice demands their protection. The international community must stand with the Inuit. Their right to self-determination must be respected. Their voices must be amplified. Only then can we ensure their survival. Section 6. The price of conquest. Economic repercussions of an Arctic invasion. The economic fallout from invading Greenland would be significant. The US would face international sanctions. These would target its economy. Trade partnerships would be disrupted. The cost of military operations would be astronomical. Maintaining a presence in such a remote and harsh environment is expensive. The need to secure resource extraction sites would add to the burden. The invasion would deter foreign investment in the US. Uncertainty and instability make investors nervous. The US dollar could weaken. This would have global repercussions. The economic consequences would be far-reaching. They would impact not just the US, but the global economy. The pursuit of resources at any cost would be a costly mistake. Section 7. A chilling conclusion. The unjustifiable risks of an Arctic conquest. A US invasion of Greenland paints a chilling picture. Diplomatic fallout would damage alliances and global stability. Environmental consequences would be catastrophic. Strategic benefits are dwarfed by ethical, economic, and geopolitical costs. The invasion would violate international law and trust. The human cost would be immeasurable. Inuit people would face displacement and cultural destruction. The world would be irrevocably changed for the worse. The invasion of Greenland is not a risk worth taking. It leads only to destruction and despair. The international community must prevent such a catastrophe. The future of the Arctic depends on it.